American football that is given a little following in Uganda, but it's also a sport that is recognized by the National Council of Sports. So it is just like what you're seeing on the screen right there. Okay, we want to understand, American football having gotten a federation,
yes,
do we have a stadium or a pitch in Uganda that can host a fixture, an international fixture, or be it a continental fixture?
Not really so far, but if we go further, maybe to host games, we can use the rugby pitches. However, they might be quite short because our pitch is quite longer in the terms of width, and the length is somehow short.
Okay.
So you find that the pitch itself takes 100 yards, 50-50 by both sides, and then another 10 yards from the other side, like that as well. But we have some schools that where I've tried to engage them to introduce the sport in their school curriculum. And among the schools maybe actually among the schools that have accepted to the sport to be nurtured in their school curriculum, I have Namilyango College, I have SMAC, I have St. Augustine's College Wakiso, and I have Seta High, Seta Secondary, and Chifuma Modern Secondary School. Those are the schools so far have embraced the nurturing of the sport, and within this period we are just going there to introduce it officially. That's why I'm going to be having a camp at Omondi Stadium just this weekend on Saturday, and a main tournament within those schools to see how they can demonstrate what they have learned. Then on 26th we begin the training. However, I believe these schools, because some of them they say they have space, so if we call upon maybe the sponsors, maybe the partners from USA, they can help us and come and develop better structures or facilities for the American football, because Namilyango College and SMAC, they are ready, they have the space for where we can put a good stadium.
In Uganda, do we have professional umpires? Do they call them umpires or referees?
They are, yes, they are officials. Among those we have
talking about the officials.
Yes.
Talking about the officials.
Yes.
Do we have the do we have referees or umpires? Because in basketball or netball we see umpires.
True.
Then in football we see referees.
Yes.
So in American football, what is the name given to the officials?
Thank you very much. That's a great question. In American football, before any coach or a game has to be to stand, we need to have what we call officials. Those are the officials normally help to rule the sport during on the game day. And we have seven positions of the officials. We have the head referee, we have the umpire, we have the side judges, we have the line judges, we have the back judges, and we also have the video judge. Okay. So yes, so that is approximately to 70 judges. A pitch of the professional football, especially the game day, if the game is standing, today maybe we have a game, the officials have to be 7 on the pitch. We have 2 the other side, we have 2 in the backfield, we have the referee alongside the other 2, then we have another 2 there in the sideways. Those are the line judges.
Okay.
Yes.
Talking about the clubs that we have in Uganda and American football.
Yeah.
How many clubs do we have so far, and how many players are registered into the federation so far? Because this is a game that I think Ugandans haven't really embraced to the root.
American football, people should understand that this is a sport that is like any other sporting code. Being the fact that it is a friendly game because it has different versions.
Friendly, but people knock other.
Yes, like the way you see right.
It seems we are taking a look at what should I call it? Should we call it wrestling? Because at some point in time, it reminds me of games like boxing.
Yep.
It reminds me of games like rugby.
Yes.
These are sports that I feel should be for the lion-hearted.
That is true, because it is a speed and power game especially. Okay. It needs a lot of speed. People are good at running. It needs a lot of energy. People can run with explosiveness. So it means whoever is going to play the sport is able to do some big, good exercise, especially strong training, individual training all the time, running, lifting heavy things like going to the gym and all that. However, the sport itself, it has some friendly categories like non-contact. The way here, tag rugby, touch rugby, you know that tag rugby. Yeah. Ours is called the non-contact version. That is where they have flags. Though the game itself, it is rough, it is true. But it depends on how the coach, the system is using and the drills is giving the players. And then you talked of the question about how many players do we have in Uganda?
Yes, and the clubs.
We have players, and one of the players so far I nurtured with and who have been on the national team, because I'm the first coach to train the national team.
Okay.
Who built the national team where the federation started with. And I remember that time in 2019 we went at Kenya to play. I believe you remember that time when we were flagged over at National Council of Sports. I had approximately 30 players. And today as I talk, the federation might be having more than 70 players or 80 players or 60 and above.
Do you have a league?
We don't have a league, yes. So as the federation, I don't know, because you know our federations in Uganda sometimes, they take things depending on their agendas. So you as a coach, you are a person who is very participant into the program. You might not be very vigilant when the federation is going to make everything to move quickly. The federation normally takes us slow, because for them they have some agendas they follow. So, but we would have a league, especially for schools. So this league, these schools I'm trying to come up with, I want to start what we call Nakawa American Football School Championship League. Okay. Yeah, that's where we are going to come up, and then we see that maybe the sport can be visible to all Ugandans, being the fact that it is football for all. And we want to impress Ugandans to be part of the NFL games. Yeah. Yeah, NFL games. The reason that's why I'm coming up with NFL, when I try to teach the students from schools about NFL, maybe they can get to know how they can be part of the program. Then in the future, we shall be having clubs. There is Wakiso Cardinals, there is Entebbe Riders, there is Mukono Buffalo Bills, there is Kampala Cowboys, there is Nakawa Buccaneers.
Your very own Nakawa Buccaneers.
Yes, my own club.
Okay, tell us about some of the challenges that you've faced when it comes to the issue of promoting this sport. More so here in the central region, because I know convincing the youth to join a sport of this caliber, a sport of rough play, is not something very easy. So please, break for us down some of those challenges that you've faced in making sure that this sport is being embraced by the fellow Ugandans.
First of all, I call upon Ugandans to become part of the program. The sport is like the way you see other sports. Even be it soccer, be it our normal football we know, be it rugby or basketball, it needs power, energy, running and all that kind of roughness where a player is very strong. All sports need strong people, especially. So the first challenge we get is about the equipment. We normally face a challenge of the equipment, but recently I've just received some balls and some of the delegates from officials from the U.S. Embassy, Education USA at the American Center, Kampala. They connected me to some gentleman who is dealing with the Samo high school program in the United States, and they send us balls. So sending balls to Uganda, it's quite very expensive, because he sent 2 balls, approximately $80, but you find that the cost was approximately $160 to reach here. First of all, the equipment are from USA, UK, those countries. They're quite expensive. And the balls they send, if they might be very few, but they're very expensive also. Here in Uganda, we don't have equipment. Another challenge, people fear to invest in the sport. People fear to sponsor the sport, being the fact that it is a new game. But I believe if Ugandans come on board, and the way you saw rugby, how it grew, and I believe you were there when you saw Nairobi Breweries taking on rugby. Today you see where rugby is, and Nairobi Breweries as well. So we call upon companies like Pepsi companies, Coca-Cola, beverage companies, food and drink, and all that kind. Banks to come and take on and help us, because we need insurance policies in the sport, being the fact that it is a rough game. Though we can still engage Ugandans coming up with a non-contact version as we grow in the sport, because the sport can also be played by both men and women.
Okay, talking about the rest of the other sports, we've seen them being engaged by the 2 genders. That is the male and the female.
Yes.
Do we have any female players in the American football?
Yes, we have female players.
Here in Uganda?
Yes.
Okay.
We have Caroline Ajdul, the first year player of mine when I was in Chamberlain University, because I'm the one who introduced the sport there. And Caroline actually held some other girls, though I've had some schools like Trinity College in Abingu, they have taken on the sport. Now girls, meaning because for them they are going to play the non-contact version, which is simple in a friendly category or game type. Kids of 6 years can play, girls can play, mature people like me or the other can also be playing. Even our grandies can also be part of it. It's fun, like any other sport.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, if at all you've just joined us on the score today, it's way different from the usual score. Today we introduced to you one of the biggest sports in Uganda, that is Ugandan American football.
Coach.
And here in studio, we are with one of the coaches, and he's the first national team coach in the names of Somoju Imran. And we are with him in studio discussing details of the sport here in Uganda. I want to understand, have you taken charge of trying to spread the sport when it comes to the different regions of the country, like taking it to the northern part of the country, taking it to the west, taking it to the east, so that you don't only get it centered within here, within the central area?
Actually, being the fact that I'm basing within Central, I've heard the federation have extended the sport in northern Uganda.
Do we have a club there like the Nakawa Buccaneers?
I really don't know, because I really don't know somewhere. Even sometimes the federation do their things. As you know, federations in Uganda, sometimes they may not tell you their programs as well. Okay. But what I know, there is a sport. There are some schools in Lila. There is Lila Town College, Lango College, St. Catherine Girls in Lila. Because I've gone there and I met them. I met kids playing. And I was among one of the coaches who followed when Jeremiah Washburn came to Uganda. That was 2019. Okay. Yes, and there's a game. So I had when I was training these players, the national team players, who actually I call them the pioneers of the game so far, because the game now officially in the National Council of Sports and registered. So I believe the first team might be the pioneers of the game in the country when it is officially registered by National Council of Sports. Okay. Though I had a plan where these players from different regions, maybe they can spread it to their regions and extend the program to their regions. So now that could be the federation's part. Because me as Imran, I wanted to start Nakawa Buccaneers American Football Club, just to show Ugandans that we are calling upon partners and stakeholders to come and take on the part to start clubs. Like even KCC can also have American football team. Express can have American football team. Okay. Wakiso Giants can have American football team. Those clubs can come and start teams, like the way you see in USA. You find the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But the problem,
the problem is the equipment. Finding equipment is one of the issues that at times hinder these sports. But I'm really glad you've tried your level best to make sure that the sport is in the country. Okay. So I want you to tell Ugandans out there, what exactly are your plans in the year 2024?
In the year 2024, I'm launching the Nakawa American Football School Championship, giving an example to all schools in Uganda.
Will it be a gala, or it is a championship that schools will have to play today, tomorrow, and the other day?
It's going to be a mini tournament one day, where schools are going to demonstrate what they have learned during the launch, during the introductory part of it. So schools have to demonstrate what they have learned. Different positions, different runs, different routes that we have in the game. And from there, beginning of 26th, then we are going to take on training till the end of term. Then at the end of the term, we are going to be having a league for all schools. So we might come to Namiryango College, and all schools have to be there, those who are part of it, whom we are affiliated with. So these other schools, because I believe when we have such media like UBC, because that is also another challenge. When we're out there, we get a challenge that media is not involved with us. So like recently, like yesterday, I've been at SMAC, introducing the sport in SMAC with my colleagues, one of the players on the national team, whom I want them to become coaches to help us in the high school program. So if we can have media during the training, maybe it's another way of inspiring Ugandans, and people get to know exactly how is this sport. People can try to follow it up. Another thing, another solution, what media can do, maybe to host us, they get a program, we ask us questions within the sport itself. Who plays this sport? How many players do we have in the field? How does this player do the work? How do these players form a team? How do people place the ball here? How does the ball move from one place to another place? How is the score? Those are the things, because we are looking for analysts for the sport. Okay. It's not only that Imrana always come to the media. We need journalists to learn the sport. Meaning, being the fact that I have Nakawa Buccaneers, I would love to create partnerships with these media companies like UBC.
Do you have a training course for the media? Because in the different sports, we've always seen a couple of federations introducing some courses for the media, where the media can go and learn some terminologies of the sport and probably get to understand how exactly the sport is being ruled. So do you have those courses before you can talk about the media being a part of you?
That is true. That is a great question indeed. Actually, if you had asked that one in the beginning. It is a really good question. I am a certified coach by NFL, official.
NFL in America?
Yes, a certified official at the initial stage. That is flag football. So I have a program of training coaches here in Uganda and referees. I'm a certified USA football coach from USA, youth certification. Youth certification, that is club, professional, old school, league, and all that kind. And USA football is the governing body of the sport in America. So today, USA football is the one who certifies all coaches at that level in those big leagues of the end of the Super Bowl teams. So we have a program because I'm in partnership with some organizations in USA, and I have talked with the director of officiating NFL, so he's willing to register. If there are those guys in Uganda who would love to learn the sport, we have some partners in USA that can really support them paying for those courses, and then people go through the training sessions. But the training sessions are going to be online. There is also the ESPN program, books, where you find the analysts, because we have ESPN in Africa. Recently, I was one of the, in 2019, 2020, when ESPN joined DSTV. I was among in that group of IFAF worldwide, talking about in that conference where ESPN was brought to Africa, and finally, it was incorporated on DSTV. We have ESPN 1 and 2. So ESPN is also in future is going to look for people to come and to be analysts. So if UBC put a program for referees, or for us maybe Nakawa Buccaneers, we put a program for referees, or the federation and all that kind, we are able to connect or network UBC to the ESPN guys, whereby they can start such programs, but they are going to be online.
And we can even get the rights to broadcast the sport live.
That is true. Because we already have NFL Africa. And I'm also in touch with those guys of NFL Africa. They are looking for people because they gave me a form to apply. As a club, I applied. So expect in the future to see Nakawa Buccaneers in the United States, either end of this year or beginning of next year.
Before I can say goodbye to you, I want you to let me know, how many countries in Africa have American football?
There are more than 11 countries. We have Uganda.
But the continent has 50 plus.
Yes.
Okay.
We have Egypt, we have Ethiopia, we have Ghana, we have almost, they are approximately 36 countries.
That are in American football?
Yes. Okay. But there are around 11 countries affiliated with the International Federation of American Football, including Uganda itself.
So the rest are just playing with the passion. They are not yet certified for the IFAF Global Championship. That
one is they have not yet become members or affiliated with. But Uganda is already a member. When you go to the American football.sport, you can find IFAF link, so you're going to see so many different countries around the world, and Uganda is also included.
But the person out there doesn't know what IFAF is. Please, yes. I could be one of the people that don't know IFAF. Yes. Break it down for us. IFAF.
IFAF, that is International Federation of American Football. As you can hear, FIFA. Yes, that is IFAF, International Federation of American Football.
Okay.
That governs the sport at the continental level. We also have IFAF Africa. The director is in Kenya, who is the president of the Kenyan Federation of American Football, George Arang, yeah.
Do we have a chance of seeing Uganda take part in a continental championship? Probably playing up against the likes of Egypt and the likes of the rest of the countries you just mentioned. Yes. The 11 that are affiliated to the international certification.
That was a chance we had, but I think the federation messed up with that chance. Because we had that chance, and that is my first game for IFAF. Actually, my first game in Uganda was IFAF game. And it was considered, it was broadcasted on the IFAF media.
So who is supposed to help us? Is it the National Council of Sports, or the federation has to get itself into the proper line?
A federation itself, it has to first streamline themselves to be very integrated when it comes to coaches, players, because you can even ask why I left the federation. As you know, in Uganda, people leave federations not because they don't want the sport, maybe not because they want to begin their own programs, but because of the constraints we have with the federations, or something like of that kind.
Okay.
When someone, everybody wants to pull the other. And at the end of the day, you cannot do everything alone. For example, the Federation of American Football, it has a good strategy, but the leadership itself, it has to first work on themselves with that integrity. Players, when they go to play, they have to be paid, they have to be compensated, coaches, up to now.
Okay, just as I say goodbye to you, I want to understand, we've seen footballers being sold for millions of dollars from one club to another.
Yes.
Who is that most expensive player that has ever been transferred in American football clubs?
Yes, there are very many players, but the most very expensive player is called Patrick Mahomes.
Mahomes?
Yes, he won a contract in 2019 when he joined the Kansas City Chiefs with a contract of 10 years. That was approximately $503 million US.
503
million US.
Oh, very good money.
503 million US. And today, I'm in touch with the NFL. So there is a business between Nakawa Buccaneers and NFL.
Okay.
Because we are going to be trading players.
All right. We shall be glad to see you once again. I'm really glad that we had a chance to discuss American football here on UBC The Score. Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, if at all you've never had a chance, we shall make sure we follow up on American football that is being played here in Uganda, and we shall always make sure we bring you an update whenever we come for The Score. We shall make sure this sport gets intensified in the different schools, in the different communities, and in the different parts of the country. We want to make sure that every sport is given an opportunity and every talent is touched. Anyway, let's go for a very, very short break, but when we return, we shall be discussing lots more. We had a couple of games being played over the weekend. We had the Uganda Cup being played. We had the launch of the Zakayo. You'll be getting to understand what the Zakayo is. And we had some Premier League games, La Liga, and more. We're coming back with that in just a short while.
The energy of this land comes to life in dreams and memories. It lights up in these nights and leads us to new horizons. It pushes us to go further and see bigger. The energy of this land comes from here. It comes from Africa, and it vibrates in each of us.
Empowered by Africa.
Oryx Lubricants, powered by Africa.
The cardinal role of a government is maintaining law and order, safeguarding citizens' rights, and providing essential public goods and services. Throughout its tenure, the government has consistently upheld these principles. This foundation creates an environment conducive to delivering crucial social services to citizens through diverse approaches such as taxation, strategic budgeting, and effective policy implementation. A transformative education system, advancing healthcare provisions, enhancing social welfare, and propelling infrastructure growth, all of which continue to evolve daily to cater to the population's expectations. Supported by a meticulously organized network of ministries, government remains committed to serving its citizens. Coming soon on your public broadcaster, The Front Bench, your interface with the government every Monday at 8:30 p.m. with Joram Paul Sonko, only on your public broadcaster, UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Junko. Yo. Wachiko. Check the shopping man. What's your secret?
Uganda, haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, it is real. I